If you slept with more than 2 of my black friends, then I don't know. Oh, I love black guys. Block. Oh, you must have a really big block. You know what I mean? I am very, very anti-fucking friends.
Have you ever watched this?
What is this?
It is The Girl from Nowhere on Netflix.
No.
It is so good. Oh, you know what we wanted to do?
What?
We wanted to do your like. Cody. Can you teach us? Hi, Tokyo Tops.
アメリカ生まれ新宿2丁目育ちのお姉芸人コーディです。
Ooh, I love it. We've seen that so many times.
So ridiculous.
We should have had something more than just this.
You're overachieving. You don't need that. So today we have our friend Cody right here with us.
Hi.
Yeah, I believe you guys have already seen Cody on
Oh
our
my
channel
God.
before.
Yeah, listen,
Yes.
I've had at least 10 people come to the bar and be like, "You're the spider guy from that freaking spider."
Oh, the spider! From Chiba.
Chiba.
That was a good video. That was a good video.
My name is Cody. I have been in Japan for, it'll be 14 years next month, right? I'm originally from Indiana in America, and I am a comedian at Watanabe Entertainment here in Japan, and I work in Idol Cafe, which is one of the most popular gay bars in Nichome. And I'm just an all-around bad bitch.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. And I'm terrified of spiders.
How did it start? Like, what was...
Okay, well, the first thing is I am from Indianapolis, Indiana. In the early 2000s, I was like, I need to get out of here. And I, like Andrew, am obsessed with Sailor Moon. So Sailor Moon and anime were probably my first introduction into Japan, video games, and just went off the rails from there. So I was a theater major. I double majored in musical theater and Japanese, and I wanted to sing, but I knew that if I went to LA or New York, there'd be like thousands of people who look like me, dance like me, etc.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, if I'm studying Japanese, there's not that many people who look like me in Japan, so maybe I can do it in Japan. And then I came here, and Jero and Chris Hart got famous. But I actually I did music professionally for the first 6-7 years I was here.
Oh yeah, I forgot you like released a single.
Not one single, several singles.
Well, we had a
actually.
couple of songs,
Yeah.
and I was in a band, and I mean, as it happens, I just had a kind of falling out with my other members,
Okay.
like right before we were about to debut.
Oh.
The pressure couldn't do it.
Correct me if I'm wrong. On the single cover or something, you have like a fedora.
Yes! Oh my god!
You had to get
Oh
that
my God.
picture.
Okay, listen. So I was out to my band members,
Uh-huh.
but no one else. Like, obviously friends and stuff, but in the like music community
Yeah.
wise, because they did like my band members were like, okay, well, I mean that's great, but we want to sell, so
Yeah.
you can't be gay.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I don't know why I was. wearing-
Welcome to the music industry
Oh
here.
god, why was I wearing a fedora?
I just remember it was something.
What a shade.
So then after that, you decided to get into comedy.
Yeah, after that, so I actually got into comedy by accident.
Okay.
I quit the group, and then I was really depressed for like a year, and I did not do anything. And then finally, like a year later, Dawn actually was like, okay, you need to do something. And so I was like, okay, I'll start looking at auditions. And I started looking at auditions online. And at the time, I was like, okay, I'll just be like a talento or something. And I thought, at that time, gay nojin
Yeah.
and gaming were the same thing.
Are they not?
They're not. They're not. Like, gaining comes from gainojin, but the connotation from gaining is more towards comedy. Yeah, so when I looked at the audition, I didn't look at it properly, and I saw gaming, and I
You're
was
like,
like,
yeah, I'm a
I was
gay,
like,
gay, no,
okay,
yeah.
I'll just go to this. And I thought it was going to be like one of those, like, kind of like a seminar where they tell you, like, kind of what the school is about and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And it was an actual audition.
Oh my
And
God.
so I went, I was like, okay, I have nothing prepared. I just thought you were going to tell me about the school. And he was like, okay, well, you're very interesting and you're literally, you're black and you're gay. We don't have that. You should come to our school.
Wow.
Diversity card.
Right, basically.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just go to the school for a year and see how it goes. And then it turns out that I loved it. So.
So when did you start, like, I know that, Iro, you're doing gay bar manager at the moment, but you also, when did you start like doing gay bar job?
So I started working in Nichome when I started taking comedy more seriously.
Okay.
Because all the auditions and stuff for TV and everything are all in the afternoon. So you cannot have like a regular teaching job and do comedy. So then I asked, at the time, I used to go to Dragon a lot, and I asked one of the workers at Dragon if they needed any help. And so I actually started working in Nichome at Dragon, and I was there part-time for maybe like 2 years before I switched over to Iro.
I always feel like lots of people think like come to Japan. I mean, you started with teaching English as well, but people always think, okay, working a company, or what else can I do? Their mind of like having a different career here is very limited. That's why we wanted to invite you here, because
it can be, but I mean, if you, number one, speaking the language is like the first thing, like, and then getting in good, it sounds so like elitist and weird, but like getting in good with the people who work there. So I was already friends with the person that asked, and I was like, I actually like need help. Like, do you guys have any extra shifts at all?
I feel like you're one of the very few foreigners in all of Nichome working.
There's a lot of mixed race foreign workers, but as far as just foreign workers, not really. Yeah, I think I may be like the only.
Like, that's pretty amazing to be able to break into that, because we're always talking like, even like us getting in and filming, or we know a couple of bars that welcome foreigners as customers, right? Well, let alone welcoming foreigners as workers. Like, that's huge.
Right.
But my understanding is right now they're sponsoring your visa, right? So you're kind of like official seishaying, we call working there.
Yeah, so that's not it. You're not even part-time. You're like, you're like
I'm
official. Yeah, you're in the company. You can be sponsored. Like, that's huge. Because
that was a big deal too. Like, that was, and it actually took it took like 2 years to get my visa approved. It was really hard for a really long time.
A lot of the viewers are actually asking about this. Like, we had Dawn here before, we had Paris here before. I think we leak tiny information about, being gay and also love life or sex life here in Japan, but never heard the complete story. So how is it like to be a gay black man in Japan?
Where do I start? The first thing, when you come to Japan, you just expect to get bombarded with like, and it's the same even in America when you go to a new city and you open up Grindr and they're like, hey, and you're like, oh my god, I'm popular. But after being here a couple of years and you get some other black gay friends in Japan, you realize we've all slept with the same people. So my personal rule is, and obviously I will break it if I like the person enough, but my personal rule is, the limit is 2 friends. If you've slept with more than 2 of my black friends, then I don't know. Maybe we'll stop at that first.
How do you figure this out? You're like on a first date or
we
whatever.
have a whole group.
You message.
I'm just like, I don't necessarily, but like when it comes up, I'll be like, oh yeah, I went on a date with this guy. It was cute.
And then like, boop, 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 boop.
Like,
Yeah, been there. Yeah.
But lately, it's not. I don't know. It could be just because I'm so I've been here so long now, but also I think the younger generation, because of YouTube and because of social media, are a lot. I don't want to say desensitized, but they're used to seeing foreign people, and there's a lot more mixed race people in Japan now, and so it's not such a big deal. So I don't think there's as much fetishization as it used to be. There's still a lot, Still a lot, because I still, obviously you get the message, oh, I love black guys, block. Oh, you must have a really big block. You know what I mean? You still get those, but it's I don't think it's as much as it was like earlier. And
But do you feel like maybe Japanese people only like white people, like where you're like, how do you feel like that? Do you feel like you're being rejected a lot, where it's a lie? It's
it's definitely not a lie. There's actually a really funny TikTok girl who I think she was in some kind of beauty contest, and after the beauty contest, she released a song called "Random Ass White Girl." Have you seen that?
Random ass white girl, random ass white girl.
Random ass white girl, random ass white girl. Everywhere I look, there's a random ass white girl. なんでこんなにいるの?
So like it's just talking about how like all the pictures for like hair salons or like any beauty kind of product, it's usually a white person.
Yeah.
And it's not just Japan, it's a global thing, right? Yeah. Like Caucasian is the standard of beauty, right? So if I see in your profile like into white guys or no blah blah blah, I will immediately block you. So I've actually blocked a lot of people out of my.
You filtered it out now.
Filtered it out a lot.
But literally, you would find that like I like white guys, no black guys.
I don't see a lot of no.
Okay,
This or
but it's,
that,
I like white guys, and then it's
or the Japanese only. That really bothers me.
Oh, we talked about that Japanese
because
only.
You don't know if there's okay. Is it the language?
Yes.
Or is it the people?
Yeah.
Which one? At this point in my life, blah.
Yeah.
You never know, right? You don't know if they're blocking me because they're not physically attracted to me, or if are they blocking me because I'm black. There's a lot of times where you don't know, but I do think a lot of it is there. Or like you'll look at someone's Instagram and or it's Twitter, you can see their likes and it's just like all white dudes and you're like, okay, he's not into black guys.
How is the gay black community here? Like, do you think there is a large community? Because I do know you guys have the brotherhood.
Yeah.
We are very lucky, especially here in Tokyo. We call them the aunties, but there are some older black gay men who have been here for a really long time and live here and have made like professions here and have families here. We haven't been doing it so often since COVID, but before COVID, he had a thing we called Brothers Night, and pretty much every month we would go to his house, everyone would bring a food item, we would watch a movie. It would be either a black-centered movie or a gay-centered movie. If we're lucky, a black and gay-centered movie. We would talk about it, and we just had this kind of sense of community. And he built that for us, right? I consider the aunties like probably like the first generation, and then I would say that me, Don, Paris, and are kind of like the second generation.
Okay.
So we're trying to kind of keep it going. It's just different, you know. It's people who have gone through the same life experiences as you, and even in Japan have gone through the same experiences here in Japan because we are black and because we are American or not, wherever we're from. So yeah, we do have a group and it's pretty active. We have our Facebook chat groups. We meet up. We talk shit about each other. It's great.
You have your WhatsApp chat where you're like, Shinji, is there any romance?
Not that I know of. I am very, very anti fucking friends. I am.
Don't shit where you eat.
I
Do not.
hate
Yes,
it.
I agree. I
hate
agree.
it. I think
Yes.
it's the stupidest thing you can do. I think it's very high school. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
So like I have all of them blocked on. I have you blocked.
Black.
Yeah. Whenever my friends tap me, I'm like, why?
Why?
No, I tapped you before.
I think that's
And
why
I
I blocked
blocked you.
Why you block me?
Because why are you tapping me?
It's fun. It's like saying hi.
No,
I'm
you
here
can say hi to
too.
me in person.
I mean,
Come down to
I'm in
Idaho,
the
you know what?
area. You know, Blackpink is in the area. So.
Not Blackpink here.
Okay. Anyway, so we asked lots of questions. So Cody, give us some update. Like, what are you doing? Or anything that you want to promote for yourself, for your bar, for your side project, anything.
Okay. Well, I am literally always at Airo. So if you guys, whenever borders open up and you guys come to Japan, come to Airo, say hi, say you watch the channel. I'll tell you where the good bars are or whatever. But also right now, I'm still technically doing comedy, but what my main project right now is I Dungeons and Dragons is one of my favorite things in the entire world. And it's having a really big kind of like glow up right now in the States, especially with shows like Critical Role and stuff. And so I created my own show. So the show is called Brilliant Quest. It's me and 6 other fellow comedians. And we play Dungeons and Dragons together, but it's all in Japanese. So what we're doing now is we're actually going to be having a Kickstarter to raise money for English subtitles, because I feel like there's a lot of overlap between people who like Dungeons and Dragons and people who like anime and like video games in Japan.
Yeah.
And I think it would be really interesting for people to see it. And plus, I love anime and I love 90s anime like aesthetic. So all of the art, all of the aesthetic is very like nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's very 90s. It's very like pixelated video game.
Yeah.
Like I put a lot of work into the editing to make it look like a 90s aesthetic. So we have a Kickstarter for that to raise money for the English subtitles. If you back it, you can get t-shirts, we have mugs, we have stickers, we have posters, we have a lot of good fun stuff for you. With the characters and stuff on it, so
Back this guy right here.
thank you.
Yeah.
Please.
Check out the channel as well. All right, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you guys. This was really fun.
Thanks
I
so
hope I
much.
didn't talk
Come
too
again.
much.
You did not at all. Come
The
again
more
soon.
the merrier. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye, Tokyo Verse.
Wow.
Verse lives matter. Verse representation matters.